Hey everyone, what's going on? Today I decided to bring you a bit of an Eithne Shupe deck. I wanted to give Scoia'tael another go, and I've tried the traps, I've tried the Brouver, I've tried Philavandrel, and I figured it's time to try Eithne again. And this was a pretty cool deck that got, a fair amount of wins on ladder today for me while I was streaming. And I think it's pretty okay. It's just a good stuff, generic, good value Shupe. You have the really high provision amount with Eithne, giving you 19, of course. Not the best leader ability ever, but makes up for it in the amount of really powerful cards you can play. We're basically running all of the removal you can even think of. We've got Chironex, Ifrit, Melaine, Ciaran as well, and the Bronze Core, as with any Scoia'tael deck, is packing lots and lots of removal. You've got all the Archer guys and whatnot. And on top of that, of course, Shupe is being enabled by that Bronze Core. We've got a lot of crappy bronzes, but again, that's allowing to play, us to play some really high provision cards, which end up, being pretty powerful. There's also double artifact removal with Sappers and Ida, so you can deal with spears from Crack or traps from Brouver or whatever you need to deal with. And yeah, the probably worst part is obviously these really weak bronzes, which don't do a lot. But if you could throw a couple of them away in round 1, maybe 1 or 2 on the dry pass in round 2, then you should be good with all of the, high value removal and power plays that you have later on. So pretty straightforward deck, not really much more to say about it there. Was having a bit of fun with it, and it's nice to try some Eithne after having tried the other Scoia'tael leaders again. So with that being said, let's jump into a game or two and see how this plays. Alright, we're going to be up against Ada. Should be exciting. Last save will be pretty important against Hubert. We don't actually have a way to deal with big tall units in this deck, so that's a bit of a problem. But let's go ahead and get rid of some of these kind of bad cards. Hawker Healer can go. Witcher we can get rid of as well. And we'll probably hold on to the rest in case we draw the other Witcher. So we can definitely start with the Swordmaster. That will give us a little bit of extra reach to kill his stuff, and I think we'll buff it as well in case there's any, small damage effects or whatever. Gonna be an Ike though coming down. Fair enough, that's kind of annoying. We can go with Witchers though. Ike was probably going to find value at some point, although we could have played around it a little bit better. And I guess we'll just keep pushing points. We can go with Officer, although I might want to save that later for removal. I kind of don't even mind Okvist here as just kind of a bit of a, bit of a tempo play if they don't respond to it. Ends up being like 10 points or something, which isn't too bad. Probably should have played it in front row. That's okay. We can move the Trebuchet, so not really too bothered about that. I think we will just take the Okvist value while we can. I think it's not the most. It's not the biggest Okvist you've ever seen, but it's pretty good. I forgot to mention why we have this, but it is in there just as a good value card. It gets, a lot of points in a long round, so that's kind of why we have it. There's not really many other long round tools otherwise, so that's why Okvist is in there. We'll go ahead and just kill Vest now, I think. Don't want her Zeal to, give the opponent too many points for free. Arbalist is another target we can just kill straight off the bat. It's kind of what this deck is best at doing, is just killing everything. And not relying on engines or anything else for points. It's kind of what Scoia'tael does though, usually. That's going to be the opponent's Okvist, so I think we just got to keep the pressure up here. Like, I really don't want the opponent to have the last say with Ada. It just becomes a complete nightmare dealing with Hubert otherwise. So we'll kill the Okvist with 1 leader charge. Nice that we're able to split those up. And now it should be unlikely the opponent can really push us here, but gonna prove me wrong and go with the Synthesis. Now we have seen 2 dragons, which are kind of, the ways that you get a lot of points with the Hubert Ada combo, so, we could even consider passing here, and I kind of want to do that, just in case they're planning to push ahead on even. We could also just play Synthesis and hope they can't really catch up. That's a valid, play probably, but they might be planning to Ada us and go for a Hubert or something. I think it's probably alright. There's also I suppose, Sabrina to think about, but she's only like 8 points, which isn't enough to get the opponent ahead. And I think if they commit all of this stuff plus their leader, then probably not in the worst spot ever. Hubert does actually tie. I did the math on that, so we shouldn't be in trouble if he just uses the charges for that. But Sabrina's a bit scary. We played around it by, of course, only stacking one row, or rather not only stacking one row. You know what I mean. So really there's not much left that synergizes with Hubert other than the leader itself. I guess Tainted Ale maybe could be a thing. Most likely we'll have to take a pass now, I think, because it's just a bit spooky to play like a neophyte. I mean, we could do it. We're 3 ahead right now. I kind of like it, actually. It's a bad card, we can get rid of it, and they do need 8 to overcome, and we can then commit Shupe if we need to do that. Like, Ale doesn't actually get them there. So this provides like a perfect pass for us if we want to take it, and I think we do. I mean, we've seen basically every way that the Adder deck is synergizing with Hubert, pretty much in this one round. So all we have left to worry about is Adder plus Hubert, which is scary, but it's only, I say only, it's only 19 points, which is a lot, but it is your leader plus a card, and it requires me to have an 8-point unit, which we can maybe just avoid. Here, I think we'll actually keep the Wolf, because if we mulligan it, we might draw into a good card, and should the opponent dry pass, we'll need a card on the dry pass to play. Wolf is not a good one, so if we can get rid of that here, it would be good. I want to, of course, find Blue Dream, if possible. I'd be very, very surprised if the opponent pushed us here, but stranger things have happened. So who knows? Could be a thing. But there's going to be the dry pass that'll allow us to play the Wolf, and then we can try to draw into some more good stuff for round 3. So yeah, I mean, we might be in trouble here. The Adder's always scary, but as long as we try to keep the value on our units down as low as possible, I think we'll be alright. This Mulligan Hawker Healer, it's just the objectively worst card here. And now we could keep Sappers if we want to kind of... Yeah, I think we do. I mean, Bowman might be another, like an extra point, but Sappers just protects us entirely from the threat of artifacts, you know? That being said, we don't really have a proactive play here. We could just go with Shupe and hope to hit the right option. It would be a bit ballsy. We could also just play the Sapper and say, you know what, you don't have any artifacts. It's probably the best play to make here, but it feels a bit wrong. If they do end up having a spear or something, we're going to regret it. But whatever, we'll go for that. It's a better proactive play than Bowman as well, so I'm kind of happy that we mulliganed in that way. But okay, that's an easy kill with the Panther. Very nice. And the idea is we use Unicorn, hopefully to buff a damaged unit if possible. Blue Stripes we can definitely kill with Mullane. And I mean, this is it, we're just shutting down all the engines now, and we're way ahead on value in this round so far. Still got to deal with the combo at the end, but another kind of dead card there. We could play Archer, I don't mind it. We're going to have to play it at some point anyway. And Unicorn, if we're able to save that for a low strength unit, we're going to find some nice value. Effectively, their leader, yeah, it's getting double value, so you know, if he only hits a 4 with it, it's not really that many points. If we're able to keep the, you know, the amount of points we have on the board low, then that'll be good. Unicorn's an 8-point play, so if I play it, I get 8 points. So we're probably still going to play it, is what I'm trying to say, because it will be worth it, basically. Here, Shupe looks fine, I suppose. I mean, we can take the 8-point Shupe. It will be taking a big hit by, you know, Adder or whatever, but if we're going to do that, which we probably are, we may as well play Unicorn first and save the Shupe as the last play, just in case there's something we want to do with it, like maybe lock a Selkirk, for example. Which we'll go for. We'll go for that Shupe Knight. It's probably the most reliable value at this point. The damage is amazing, for example. And we do get the damage, so we'll take that, kill Selkirk. And we can then shoot Blue Stripe, whatever, doesn't really matter. Opponent's going to have a lot of points here, but as we know, Ada and Hubert are not going to be enough to make that point difference. So they maybe committed too much of their stuff in round 1, and, you know, round 3 was in our favour due to all the removal we had. And the card quality as well. Anyway, pretty solid win. Let's jump into another game and see if we can do it again. Alright, next opponent's going to be Morvran. See what we can do here. And as always with the mulligan, we get rid of any bad cards, although this hand's looking alright. Maybe get rid of sappers if we don't expect artifacts. Pretty uncommon for Morvran to run spears or anything else. Peasant militia can go as well. We could probably get rid of bowman, or safer is to keep and not risk getting a witcher. So Swordmaster looks pretty nice to start with. We won't boost it up. Ike in the last game was pretty painful, but Leo would also be nasty here, and I think Morvran can push us harder than Ada can in round 1, so won't boost. It's pretty nice that we're going to actually survive with the Swordmaster there. It's going to allow us to ping and kill that Sergeant with something like Ifrit, and I think we want to do that. If he's committing a leader charge off the bat on turn 1, probably means he wants to push us pretty hard. So let's just try to negate that. That being said, they do just play 2 witches, which is obviously not a very good play. So we don't need to go with our own witches just yet. We can probably just play a bowman instead. Get the extra ping on Swordmaster, and then we'll buff this bowman because it's 2 points. It's out of Leo range. Don't have to worry about that. Of course, they could play like a Nilf Knight on it, I suppose, but should be fine. There's my slave inventory coming down. Go with witches now to get them out the deck and thin a bit. And then we'll maybe consider playing a couple more bronzes here before passing. Should be gravy. Thick gravy. Should be good. Should be good and Gucci. So we can just shoot that, I suppose. We don't need to play an elf now. We don't have our elf on the board anymore, but it's probably the weakest card in our hand, and we're ahead enough that we can play some of the weaker cards. We also know they have a witcher in hand, so we can use that information to our advantage should the round keep going on, but looks like we're getting out of here. Morvran's round 3 is quite scary usually, maybe his horn or something, but probably don't have any reason to bleed him, I wouldn't say. Our long round 3 with something like Shupe isn't necessarily bad either. We can even play it here to try and get carryover, or I don't think that's particularly good. Let's go to Peasant Militia and then Neophyte, because they're both kind of bad. Now, yeah, I think we could play a card if we wanted to, but passing is also just fine. I think let's just go long round and see whose long round is better. We don't really have any engines for him to control, so I'm thinking a lot of the opponent's, you know, lock plays and removal and whatnot is just going to be wasted and not doing very much. So hopefully we'll gain an edge in that department. But we'll see. Also have 1 less leader charge, so our leaders are effectively equal. And they're going to play an extra card there just to get deeper into their deck. We don't really have a good Blue Dream target, but that's never a problem because we have so many ways to kill the opponent's units and get a good target for that. Let's mulligan Dragoon, least valuable card, Hawk a healer then, and Skirmisher after that. Not really having any luck finding anything better than those, but that's fine. Can I be just a Magni Division here? That's very easily removable by Panther. We'll take that kill. Make sure to play it on front row. It's got 2 reach. I can maybe think about Synthesis or whatever else. Maybe Shupe is actually quite strong now. Yeah, I like Shupe because if we get like a couple of hunter options, they're quite good here. Either the boost all your own units or damage by 9, for example. There we get the boost, so we'll take that. Not too bad. And we hit quite a lot of 2s there as well, which is very powerful. So the rest of our plays here are going to be pretty damn good. Weakest is now a 6, but we'll see if it's enough. The opponent might have their own Shupe if they're running the Shupe version of Morvran. Could do some powerful swing in their favour. Potentially. Kyrenex is a very nice blue dream target that can work with Unicorn, so we'll try to kill this. Probably we'll use Eithne charges in response to the Morvran charge there. Looks good to me. Just melee. Make sure they don't get that big Unicorn value. As I said before, we don't have any way to remove tool units, so it can be a bit difficult if they get that Unicorn off, or if they get a very large body on the board to deal with that. Not running Scorch like most Ithnes do. I think it's just a bit too high provisions to run it, and people expect it anyway from Eithne, so loses some value there. Oh, Rot Toss is not going to be good at all. It gets answered very effectively by Kiaran, for example. I think we just go with him. We could just shoot it as well with Eithne, but I don't see why we should lose any value on the lock. We have a lock in hand. We can lock that, so let's do it. Use the Eithne charges for damage. Sounds good. Rotos is a bit outdated, I think, in Nilfgaard. It's a bit weak at 7 provisions. I think, anyway. And this is when those, controlling removal cards from the opponent just aren't finding any value against our deck. We don't run any engines, really, so it's very hard for them to actually get points from those. Slave Driver's looking okay, but, trades evenly with our buffed up neophytes, so not too shabby. There's going to be a Germain, though, which probably is signaling Horn from the opponent, which is definitely scary, there's no doubt about it. I'm kind of inclined to get Unicorn on the board so we can Blue Dream at any point, should we need to. That being said, not sure there's any immediate need. The thing I'm most scared of is like a Stefan, but as long as we have Officer in hand, we can deal with it. With Eithne charges as well. So, that being said, if they Morvran, it's not possible anymore, is it? Alright, let's just play Unicorn. I suppose they might remove it with Orcs. It's kind of like a... Yeah, it's a bit of a... Who's going to play their thing first as to... I mean, like, we can always take a lock, I suppose, for Stefan, so... Realistically, we may as well just go Ida here and not worry ourselves with thinking about Stefan or whatever. Just save our power play for later. Shouldn't really make a difference. I mean, Horn's potentially just closing the gap is the scary thing. And there's going to be Avalak. Okay, so presumably that means he is running Stefan Horn. And that does mean we're going to need to lock that, I think. Which does kind of suck, it really does. But I think, the alternative is we have to deal with 2 Horns, and I don't think we can beat that. So, unfortunately, we can't kill it in any other way. Just have to take the lock. That's fine. Lock up Avalak, and then we can kill the opponent's Stefan with Officer plus Eithne charges. And then the other card will be Horn and presumably Peter or something else. Unfortunately, we don't get that Unicorn Kyrenex synergy that I was really hoping for, but I think we have to do this, or we're going to be in big trouble. So Unicorn was the other card from the opponent. So Stefan Horn, I believe, are the last 2. I don't know if we beat that. We might actually be losing to it. Not sure. I think we should be fine. Place the synthesis first. Stefan will come down now, presumably. And, yeah. Maybe they didn't have it and they were just playing Avalak. Oh, it's a Kahir. Okay. Well, in that case, I suppose we're killing that instead. That's even worse than Stefan for him, I guess. And then I don't know what his last card is. It's a bit weird. Probably still Horn, I guess, but I have no idea. Oh, it's a Yennefer. Okay. Nice. I like it. But very valuable that we kept the Officer as removal there. Otherwise, that combo could have been fucking devastating. Haven't seen Yennefer plus Kahir really being played, but that's very cool. Maybe I'll have to give that a go myself. That's a deck idea. There we go. Either way, another convincing win. Pretty powerful deck, I would say, and a nice take on Shupe. Not, although there are quite a few Shupe decks already. Either way, thanks for watching, guys. Do subscribe if you want more videos, and I'll see you next time.